For people that aren't familiar with the book, you talk about, as you mentioned, being an adult child of an alcoholic, and with that came shame and depression. Did you find, in your experience going around talking about the book, is it more common than we see out in front of people?
Yeah, it's the statistics are always hard for me to say are phenomenal, and when we go out and talk, we also say that not everyone has a shame story, not everyone is depressed, but even those who are fortunate enough to have had a good upbringing in a kind of non-chaotic childhood, it still allows them to have compassion for others who do suffer with depression and different forms of mental illness. And that's a real hard job to try and change. But we're hearing it every time we go out. People say, thank you very much for sharing your story. And it allows me at 60, 70, 50, 80, for the first time to say that my dad was an alcoholic, or my dad had depression, or my sister took her own life, and I've never talked about it. You know, that was the thing growing up in my house. Never brought any friends over because no one was supposed to talk about Dad's alcoholism. And he wasn't drunk all the time, so that was confusing because he was a nice guy sometimes, and he'd take me to Bruins, Red Sox, Celtics games. So how could you get mad at a guy who did that? You know, I'm a big fan still because of all of that. Yeah. You know, and I also look at the positive with my career, because had I not done those things growing up, had I not grown up in that chaos, then who knows, you know, what I would have done. So I express that when we go out to speak, and so does Linda, to try and try and turn it around and be positive. And it's not easy. That's one of the things that people enjoy about me when I go out to speak. I still have bouts of depression. I still have anxiety about things in my life. Not this. I'm not nervous about being out here with you.
Oh, good.
But when I go home and ask my wife something that may be important, I may struggle to ask because there's still that feeling in the back of my head that, you shouldn't be asking. You're not worthy. You're not good enough. And so we always talk about changing that message, you know, to a more positive one. And that's not easy. You know, unfortunately, that's not easy.
And I would also say I wouldn't underestimate the amount of help that you've given to people who probably haven't even mentioned it to you. That's probably a big percentage of the population as well. But the book is called Weathering Shame. You're going to be at the Libby Memorial Library at 6 o'clock in Old Orchard Beach on Tuesday, June 13th, and on June 22nd at the Union Congregational Church in Ellsworth, and then in Hiram on Saturday, August 19th. The book is on sale now, Weathering Shame. Kevin, it's a pleasure.
WeatheringShame.com if they want to get on our website.
Thank you.
And they can learn about us, and they can even book us like you did.
We did. That's right. Well, we've wanted you on the show for a while. I'm glad you finally got here. Thank you very much. Come back and see us again sometime.
And congratulations on your show. You do a great job. Both of you guys are really, you work well together. And
thank you very much.
It's great that, like you said, local TV. Local TV.
We have a lot of fun doing it.
You look like you do, and that's the key. That's what makes you so popular and successful.
Ish. Popular-ish. Let's
not go. All right, if you insist.
Kevin Mannix, everybody. WeatheringShame.com.